For 45 years, the Miller family and the dedicated staff at Autocrafters have been here helping you to restore your dream Ford. Thank you for your support. Here's to another 45 years of delivering parts for your Falcon, Fairlane, F100, Galaxy, Maverick, and Pinto. Bling, bling, blong. Time for a test fit. I'm going to do a brief talking point here in the middle of all this. Here's where I'm going. This kind of is basically just letting you guys see exactly how I went in and made all the cuts on the other plate as well. It's off to the side of me over here. And I'm going to have to go in and do some filler welding on the top on these. That's okay by me. I'm not problematic about that. What I want to show you though is exactly how I'm going to mount this plate to this lower brace down here after we get everything sealed, set, and done. Ford put a lot of wiggle room in these bolts back here, so I want to try to kind of do the same thing, although I'm going to have to put my wiggle room in these bolt holes on the top rather than in the bracket underneath. There's a slider bolt that goes in here. I'm going to pull this up so you can see it. All right, now these are the square holes for the slider bolts. You have more side-to-side room than you have back and forth room with them, but there is a little bit of back and forth and a little bit of side-to-side. I really can't do that with what I have here because I don't have the facilities to cut a square hole in the brackets I've made, and I'm going to show you those in just a second. But this basically gives you an idea. I'm going to go through and mimic the hole positions that are on the back of the plate back here on this part of the plate up here. And in order to do that, unfortunately, I've had to go in and put in some braces. I also probably will eventually put a bolt here, a single bolt on either side of this piece, because it's going to probably, if I don't do that, it's going to sit up too much on the sides. Even with these two bolts here, I may get some panel pooch on the other side of the car over there. All right, now these two pieces that I have here, there were 4 made all together. This is just some angle bracket that I got at the Home Improvement Center. I got a fairly short piece because anytime you buy metal at the Home Improvement Centers, it's going to cost you a ton more than if you go to a mill supply and buy them from there. So the longer one actually fits like that underneath here, and I've got a line, if I can show it to you, I've got a line drawn right here so I'll know that that's exactly where this one needs to go, and it butts up against this back wall. And then this one goes here. Now this is a lot more critical on this one, the positioning of the bracket itself, because you want it centered up on the holes that are already existing, so that will kind of match up to the original stuff on the Ranchero. There's no way that what I've done is going to look factory, but you know what? It's as close as I'm likely to get with this. I'll go in and whittle and weld and do all the little things I need to do to make it look better, but we're going to be putting bed liner in. So you're not even going to see all the cool work. The bed liner will cover it all up. Paint. Rust-Oleum specifically to put on the back side of this thing so it doesn't rust. I don't care if I get runs. Let that dry for about 30 seconds and we're good to go. Right, what I've got now is a flat cut bit. I went in and basically flattened the tip of it. All this is for is cleaning out spots where I've put paint down like POR 15 or Rust-Oleum to help keep rust at bay on parts. This will allow the weld to stick a little bit better, at least in theory. One of the issues I have with doing a pre-paint is sometimes you can run into what I'm running into right now, where you don't have good clean metal, even with something where we clean it out with a weld cleaner or the hole cleaner like I was using with the drill bit. All right, so there we go. Now there at the end, when I was doing this, the paint had mostly burned off. I had lost all the paint in that area, and then it started to kick up and weld correctly. This is what I went back to when I was talking on the Autorestomod show the other day, where I was talking about whenever you do the kind of things where we put paint down to keep things from rusting in the background. It still kind of bothers me because sometimes I don't get the area clean enough. If I clean out wide enough to get what I need to have done, I still have a problem. Well, they ain't pretty, but they are welds. We'll put the plate in here and see what we got. I do believe that'll hunt. All right, next order of business is to put holes on this end of the plate like there are on this end of the plate, and we'll probably also put a hole somewhere along in here as an additional way to hold this plate in position. You put the holes in the bed plate first and then correspond those holes into the brackets that are up underneath here. That way when you put this plate in, these brackets will have a good lineup, and you can put your holes in them for a bolt or whatever. Like I'm going to probably go in and put a shouldered bolt in through the top of these plates to correspond with the holes that are in the actual bed plate itself. So there you go. I'm going to show you how to make that right now. Tally ho! Ow! I really didn't hit myself. It's cold enough in here today that my hands are numb. All right, bed plate is done. Well, the holes are done. All right. Figures my paint pen is over there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark up for generalities. I figure this plate is probably going to be sitting right about here. So I'm going to mark them up, and then I'm not going to make my holes down here yet until I can kind of figure out what I want to do for final position on this. I'm a little worried because I think that one is actually off center a little bit on the post. Weirdly, this one is okay. This one is a little off. What are you going to do, right? So really all that's left to do on this now is to get the clip pieces that go in here from the guys at Autocrafters. Probably get some sealer from them as well. I'll use strip caulk on this when we go to final. We're going to talk about that in an episode when we go and seal up the entire Ranchero. When we seal up the Ranchero, all this sealing work will be done because I'm going to do some crazy things up here at the front of the bed plate. And then we also need to go in and do rosette fills, or as people like to call them, plug fills, all the way across the top here. Anywhere that I can see down through the bed, I'm going to fill that up with weld. And I'm also going to use some of my other spots where I've got big open things to kind of put the bed down to the actual base plate. This will get plug holes all the way around the perimeter, about every inch to set it. When we get to that point, I still need to go in and trim and grind this top edge, or back edge I should say, of this plate here. I've gone and done a little bit of that on this one. I will still need to go in and do some welding to fill up some of these spot holes that have popped through when I welded up the plate. I'm not going to blame my welder. I think I'm not a great welder. I know I'm not a great welder, but I also think I'm having some welder issues because it's doing some weird feed stuff right now that I heard yesterday when I was working on a lot of this stuff, because this is the second day of me working on this. Other than that, that's really it. we are basically done with what I want to show. I know I said I was done before, but I did want to show how I wanted to go in and set this up for the plate that bolts down, because I thought that was kind of important to show how to make brackets and set the brackets up, so you got to see that. So that's really it, folks. Do me a favor, be kind to each other, love on each other, treat each other nice. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you on down the road. So, our toe board came in for wonky. I'll show you. This is going to get a little bit more love in the actual episode, but I'm just going to lay this in to kind of give you a glimpse. This stuff from AMD, man, I like it. And it's going to go in wonky, which kind of doesn't make sense to me. This should be going into a Torino Cobra or something really cool, but we're going to put it in a 66 four-door Falcon. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's just me, quiet on the set.